Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube. Dave here, the garage, bomb truck, still. Okay, so long story short, blew up the 383, kind of self-destructed internally. Among lots of things happened. Like, go back and check out those videos if you haven't already. Got a mystery 350, got it in the truck, got it running, got some issues, sorting them out slowly. Think I found another one. Distributor clearances and stuff. Like, let's just get into it and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so excuse the googling over there, it's the washing machine. It's Saturday morning. Right, if you remember, if you go back, let's go back in time, right? I got this 350 Chev, condition unknown, for a really reasonable price, so I can't complain at all. It's an 010 block, I think it's 2-bolt main. It's had some work done on it in its life, don't know what. I think it's pretty stock, like it's had a freshen up or something at some point. Now, when I was cleaning it up, down here at the distributor hole, right, there was a little ring stuck on there sort of thing, and I thought, oh, that's a hard plastic gasket, you know, it's not going to seal nothing. So I peeled it off and I think I threw it away. I most likely did. Now, when I put this motor into the bomb truck, sat the distributor in there, it didn't seem to like sit down as far as, you know, it didn't drop right in and sit on its base, you know. So I kind of thought, oh, whatever. And since then I've had a leak at the base of the distributor, a little bit of a leak sort of thing. So last video I kind of got in there and I cranked it down sort of thing, thinking that was going to solve the leak. But I stumbled across, and it's still leaking by the way, so this is what led me down this path. I was looking at new distributor base gaskets and stuff online, and of course there's nothing here local to me where I can just pop down to a speed shop and buy one, you know. So I thought, I've got some gasket paper, can I make one? And it led me down this rabbit hole, and I was stumbling around in some old forums on various things, truck pages, Corvette pages, shit like that, about the gaskets and the potential to have to shim them, and I think that's what I need to do. So I'm going to pull the distributor out again, take the gasket off, drop it in and see what kind of clearances there are, because if you've got, according to the interweb, if you're bolting it down and forcing it down, you're loading up onto the oil pump, if that makes sense, or onto the oil pump, the drive that comes off the oil pump that goes up to the thing, and it can, you know, create future problems. And I'm wondering now, is that where my rattle's coming from? Because that's where it sounds like it's coming from, down in the back of the motor there, which is oil pump territory. So yeah, dizzy out, and we're going to do some measuring and see if we can dial this in a little bit better. So I'm going to get into it. I'm going to put some marks in that on, because the timing is I think pretty much on point at the moment, so I don't want to miss that. Mind you, I've got my Harry Flash timing light now. I can re-time it with my dial back, but some people don't like those. But anyway, so let's get into this, make some marks, and pull that dizzy and see what it says. With the air cleaner, get that out of the way. Uh-oh. That's a weird little plastic spacer thing. Not gonna work on there. Now I'm going to pull my leads, because now that I've tied back my leads all tucked up under that engine mount, there's not enough room to actually pull the cap and just lay it over the top without pulling a bunch of leads off. So I want to mark these just so I don't have to try to trace them all to find my way back to them. So I'll just grab some tape or something, I guess. Okay, so marked all my leads. Now this is not really kind of how a lot of folk would do it, but as I was saying, I since I kind of rearranged my leads to kind of clear my exhaust. There's not a lot of room for them now to get out of the way. I've already pulled that one. Unplug that. Remember to plug it back in when I try to start it. That'd be a good thing to do. Take the cap off. I really should bump it round to number 1 so I know where I'm putting it to. I'll come back to that. Just hooking up the Hot Rod Hermit 1.0. Right, that'll do us. Now I'm going to put a mark right there to match up with right there. So when I put the distributor back in, that's where I want it to land, approximately. Pull this vacuum, no I won't, I'll pull the vacuum advance off at the carburetor since it wants to come off easier there. And try and find somewhere to put this camera device. Down there. Get in there with my... Oh man, I cranked it up. I hope I haven't damaged anything. Might have to get a leverage. Okay, I think that's it. Loose. Yep. Take this out. My clamp out. Take the distributor out. So it's left that gasket behind. Right there. So now she's a bit squished, and now it was breaking because I crushed it. Damn it. Okay, so this is what I gotta check now. Gotta drop the distributor back in anywhere kind of ish. I should put it roughly where it's supposed to go. And well, what I'm having a look at is that clearance down under there. There's my light, another light. Oh, it is sitting down on top of there now. Okay, is it? Oh, that's the washing machine. Okay, so that's kind of blown my theory completely out of the water. Because I was thinking that maybe this isn't actually sitting down properly. Actually, I'll get it to sit down in the right place. No, she's still out. Hang on. It's sitting down, but it shouldn't have actually landed there. There's the washing machine again. Anyway, that's sitting down where it should be, roughly, except that rotor should have been back pointing this way. I think it's one tooth out, but that's all right for now. Yeah. Actually, if you can see that, you can see that it's not sitting on the shoulder, so maybe my theory does have some merit. So that means the distributor shaft, the base by the the oil pump, the drive that comes off the oil pump, is sitting hard on it. So what I actually want to do is shim this up just a scotch, and then by the time we get gaskets in there, it'll have a little bit more, here's the washing machine, a little bit more clearance. At the moment, the fact that it's not actually sitting right down on the shoulder of the distributor housing, this part here, that housing there, means that that shaft is in full contact. I'll see if I can show you. Okay, so that's the underside of the distributor, and that's what locks into the oil pump shaft, which is like that there. This is the oil pump that was in the 383, and so that shaft ends up landing on top of there. And what's happening, I think, in my application right now is it's sitting hard down on it. So when you crank it down, it's loading up down the shaft and into the pump, whereas it needs to actually sit, I can't remember, that's the wash machine. I should go and turn that off. Is you actually need to have it sitting, it should be a little bit off there, not sitting hard down on it. It needs to have a little bit of up and down clearance. I can't remember the actual numbers. I'll have to look that up, and then we can measure up with the distributor in the block and make a shim basically to give us a little bit of inflow, if you know what I mean. So hopefully that explanation made sense. That little bit of in play we had where this mounted on top of the intake manifold, God, I'm in trouble with my words today. Having that bit of in play there, even if you kind of crank it down with a gasket and you're kind of loading it up, you're loading up down onto here. So, you know, potentially as that's trying to go around, it's got that little bit of, you know, sideways movement, whereas if it's just sitting floating freely, it's going to move around a bit, but it hasn't got that downward load on it, which potentially can damage that. I can't, you know, it could do, I don't know, like I don't have first world experience of it being damaged, but I'm just repeating the garbage I read on the internet. But it kind of makes sense to me, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to put that dizzy back in, get some feeler gauges, and kind of get a measure of what the gap is there now, and make up a shim of some sort to close that gap up, so by the time we put a couple of, you know, gaskets in there, a little gasket, it's going to have a bit of free play on that distributor. There are specs and stuff for it, and you can buy shim kits and stuff for this application, but as I said earlier, that stuff's all postage away from me. We live in a reasonably biggish city. It's the fastest growing city in New Zealand, but we don't have a speed shop for old shit. There is a couple of places that do a bit of import stuff, turbo stuff, and they do AM fittings and things like that, but and there's some speedway guys, but they're kind of pretty low key and carry, you know, a bit of stuff but not a lot. But we don't have like a shop where you can just go and buy, you know, carby kits or gasket sets or single gaskets and stuff for a basic small block shed. And we've got a big hot rod scene here in Tauranga. There's quite a few clubs, a lot of cars, but we don't have a speed shop. So if you're rich and you know, want to set something up, by all means do it. But yeah, so I'll put that back in, we'll measure it up and see what we can come up with. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. So if you see, so that's sitting right down on that drive off the oil pump, right, that shaft. So if I stick these feeler gauges, I've already kind of been in and got a rough measure. It's a little bit, so that's how much it's sitting up off that shaft. So we have quite a bit of, and it won't sit down any further, so that's where she wants to sit, and that's a massive gap.
in reality, if you're looking at that, hopefully it's focusing. Right, I'll measure that up and get it into millimeters. Hang on, magnet. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's potentially, now this is just a theory, where that rattle could be coming from. It could be coming, I don't know, like we'll have to try it and find out, but that rattle that I've been talking about could be coming from that pump being loaded up vertically like that, whereas it shouldn't be. Now there should be, in theory, about, I think I read somewhere this morning, point something or other. You don't want to have it too I can't remember. Hang on, go back, I'll show you this. Like, you don't want to have it, oh, where's that shaft gone? Oh, there it is. That shaft there, you don't want to have it like too far up, because you can break these tangs off and stuff like that. So it just needs a little bit of upward clearance, so there's no heavy load on there, if you know what I mean. So I'll just grab some verniers and I'll measure that, and then we have to try and factor in, you know, what a gasket's going to do to that. So my theory is, if I make a shim that's just slightly bigger than that, that'll keep the distributor end of the dizzy off that shaft, like loading onto it, but then when you tighten it down with a gasket, it will seal. But you know, so if I make a shim that big and end up having to put 2 gaskets on there, we might be right. Yeah. Right, something going rackety in the washing machine again. So if I do this the right way, not the way I'm doing it. So measuring that, we're bang on about 2 millimeters, which I don't know, which is, say, about just under 0.010 of an inch, I think. Is that right? 0.01? Yeah. So look on here. There's an inch. Where? There. And it comes to just under 1 on there. Hopefully you can see that. So it's like 1/10 of an inch. Roughly. I can't translate that. Some stuff we talk in imperial, some stuff we talk in metric here in New Zealand, and I grew up in a generation where we kind of had this bit of an overlap, so I've got some of it but not all of it, if that makes sense. So anyway, back to this. So if I make a shim, a 2 millimeter shim, and then like a thin paper gasket on either side of that, by the time it's tightened down, it should be right. Or even if it's just over 2 millimeters, like 2.1 or something like that, in something that won't crush or compress. Some people stack gaskets. I personally have not had any first world experience with that either, but theoretically, if you're stacking the gaskets and then they start compressing and your dizzy moves and then you crank it down, you're going to end up with squashed gaskets running into the same problem again. Yeah? Does it make sense? Maybe. But yeah, so I'm going to see what I can make. Okay, so I've been hunting the garage high and low for something to make a shim out of. I had this piece of kind of nylon perspex, I don't know what it is. All the shims I've seen available online were made from nylon or copper. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll be able to have a piece of nylon around here somewhere that I can make a shim out of. But everything I've got is too thin, so I'd have to like start stacking them, and then I'd create potentially leak issues in between shims and then gaskets and all that kind of stuff. And I thought about like machining up a big washer. This washer is still too small. It's only just on 1.5 millimeters, which is only 0.5 millimeter out from what I need to close my gap, but I kind of want a little bit more in it. You know, otherwise I'd still, even with gaskets on either side of this, they're going to compress and it's still going to end up sitting on that pump shaft sort of thing. But I found this piece of rubber. Now I've used this rubber for various things. This shape is actually left over from making a gasket for the old Morris Minor, but that is 3mm uncompressed. So I sort of figured I could make a shim / gasket out of this. It will compress. I don't know how it'll age. So, but for kind of our test purposes and stuff, and hopefully get it to last long enough till we can rebuild the 383 or whatever, this is what I'm going to go with. So I need to make a shim / gasket, 32mm inside diameter, which is 1 inch and something or other, and crikey, I think it was 47mm outside diameter, which is a nearly 2 inches roughly, to work as a gasket. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna set about doing that. Might see if I can punch a hole in the center. I'll mark it and stuff. I'll punch a hole in the center and make, hopefully with a socket, see if that works. I've got enough that if I cock it up I can try again, so let's do it. Alright, what do I say it was? So I might try, just mark one on there, and then if we go, make that my center, just an approximate square. Use my flash as little compass. What did I say that ID was? 30 something. ID was 38, so I want 19, about there. I don't know if this is going to work. This compass is pretty average. What does that measure up at? Oh, not bad. And then just need to add enough to get on around the outside. So 25-ish, about there. Okay, so I'm just checking my measurements against the distributor. On the inside there, I actually only need 32mm, which is like 1 inch and a bit, and kind of outside diameter I need about 40, 45, about 45-ish sort of thing. So got me a socket which is 31, so if I punch that through there, it's going to be tighter on there. Is that a bad thing? The next one up's too big. I'll have a look. Yeah, the next socket is 33, but they're not very sharp either, so I don't know whether they're going to cut through cleanly, so I might actually just mark it again, cut it with a knife instead. Hopefully I can get a nice clean cut with a razor blade sort of thing, by hand, these ones. Okay, so marked it out again. I'll go to the inside cleaner lines, hopefully that will make it. Through and pass. Sweet. Cut it out. Cut it out either way. Just like that, hopefully. Well, it's not real true, but hopefully it's true enough. So that will sit on there, like so. I reckon it might work as long as it seals up and does what it's supposed to do. We might be in the money.
Where is it? I need to get in there and have a proper look. I can't see. Alrighty, so I actually got in there with it and turned the oil pump with a screwdriver, and I know in the past I have done it with just bumping the motor, but I'm starting to suspect that's what contributed to the demise of the old 383 was a bit of cam walk from me doing that. There we go. Nope. Miles off. Why doesn't it want to drop down? I'm sure I got that lined up. Need a torch. There we go. So that's it there. I might do some measuring actually, because that still seems to be sitting kind of quite like it's sitting on it. Alright, out she comes. Hang on. A roller sitting in the oil pump drive. Hopefully you can see down in there. And that comes out at 195 millimeters. So let's measure. Yeah, sitting right on there, bang on there at 195, and that sits a bit further up in there, so that should be alright. Interesting. Okay, so looking at that, the little tang inside the distributor gear is sitting back about, I don't know, about maybe 5 millimeters or so. So if I'm tucked up under there, 195 is right to the end, so that tang should be in about there. By the time we compress it down, there should be plenty of engagement and it should be all right. So I just got to set my pump up again and make sure that's all good. This ruler's actually proved to be really useful for doing that, so you can feel it engage. So I want it sitting about there to get my number one to line up. Come on. it's sitting about there. It still seems high again. Weird. So weird. There we go. That's about there. That's so strange. It still seems like it's sitting on something. Something that was actually had one of these wires was pinched underneath the distributor, so I think we're good to go. So we'll set about putting this back together. It does still seem like it's sitting on something. It's so weird. What could it be? I might just put the clamp on, tighten it down, and just see whether I've still got any infloat here. Okay, so I've tightened the clamp down, and we do have a little bit of up and down movement still, which is hopefully the whole lot moving up and down, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I guess I'll just put this all back together and see what happens. Okay, so back together, took my labels off, so hopefully, and got plugged in. That was all lined up, so hopefully we're timed pretty much where it should be. We'll give it a crack and see what happens. Running quiet-ish, but it takes a little while for it to start rattling. Well, you know, we'll see. On this side, it's not going to go away by itself. Oil pressure is just over 20 psi. I'll just let it warm up and see what it does. At the moment it's quiet. A little bit of a rattle there, but it just sounds like normal rocker stuff. But you can hear it a bit there. So good.
That's interesting as well. I think the rattle is quieter. I honestly think it's quieter. And oil pressure seemed to be closer to 30 than 25 at idle, so she's still fumey. but yeah, we could, fingers crossed. I think that it's still got a little bit of a rattle there. When I was going through it with my stethoscope, it just sounded more like rocker noise than like before. It used to be down back at the bell housing. You could hear it going nanga 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 quite prominently through the hose. I'm not hearing much at all down through the bell housing now. Seems to be getting a little bit off like the number 2 vicinity of rockers, you know. Could be one of them slightly out of adjustment, but on the whole, I think it is better. I think it's better. I won't know till I kind of drive it, and sometimes you could hear it more rattly when you're kind of in gear with a bit of load on it. It seems to go naga 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 sort of thing. So might take for a wee test drive, just a bit of an up and down the road type of thing, and see what it sounds like. Starts so good. I hear the rattle now. If you can't hear it, you're probably thinking I'm mad, but might have to chuck that timing light back on here. It doesn't feel quite as go-y. Temperature doing? I've got completely ignoring the temperature now, sitting at 192, which is good. so I don't know what's been recording and what hasn't. Every time I pick up the camera, it's going for some reason, even when I thought I'd turned it off. But anyway, so timed it up to 34 degrees all in, which puts it quite high on the initial. It's 27 on the initial, but that's with the vacuum advance unhooked, mind you. I don't know, like, I think that's right, but I don't know, the initial seems awful high, but it's going quite well other than it's smoking still. But yeah, the rattle is significantly less, I think. I could just be wishful thinking, I don't know, but we'll see. I think it is better. But yeah, so fans are kicking on, doing all that they're supposed to do. Unhook that, yeah. Plug that back up. Yeah, so I think we had a win, hopefully. Yeah, so check that out. That's the gasket. Looks like a Felpro one, gauging by the colour. And that was never crimped down. That had been on that 383 in and out a few times the whole time I'd owned it, and adjusted on and stuff, and I'd never squashed it that much. So yeah, I don't know, I think that might be a win actually, like hopefully. But yeah, so definitely seems quieter, and I'm sort of really starting to think that maybe that rattle was coming from that load on the oil pump. Seems quieter to me anyway, hopefully. Okay, so where were we up to? It's been a few hours anyway. So kind of made a kind of rubber gasket slash shim for the distributor, and it seems to have helped a little bit with the rattle. There's still a rattle there, which could be rockers now, I'm not sure, but peace of mind anyway. I don't feel like the distributor is kind of like bottoming out on the oil pump anymore, so it's a good thing. Also, big thanks to Rob from Kerry who arranged to send down that bumper to us for the Area 51 project. Got that yesterday, so thanks Rob, that's awesome. And now on to this carbureting machine. Got a kit in a plain white box. Oh, it's got high grade, so it must be good, and it's in French and stuff, so you know it's for a Holley, made in the United States. Okay, sweet, that's cool. Got that off Rock Auto. Still waiting on my valve seals for the Mystery 350 to hopefully stop it blowing so much smoke, but this might help stop it fuming so much as well. It hopefully won't run so rich, so let's pull this carb apart and see what we can make out of it. Hopefully, I've never done this before, so I want to kind of pull it apart and have a look, see, and figure out how they work, maybe with any luck, and throw some new bits in it. Let's do it. Doing my bit of tie wire that I put on here last week to hold the choke open or closed, whatever, open. Should just maybe use that. What do we need? Flathead screwdriver. Hopefully all the gas has evaporated out of it. Got me a piece of cardboard, because my bench is really easy to lose little bits and pieces on. Yeah, it's got little O-rings that go on there. Yep. Some needle and seat. Wonder if you get new seals for there. I don't know. Anyway, put those over there. Clutch heads, awesome. And I'll take the other side off. Still got gas in it. Uh-oh.
seats seem to be moving. I don't know why it was doing what it was doing, but that's the intake side. That's the other side. I guess that's me jets there, is it? What does that do? It's one of them. Scrape marks on there. How does that come apart? Are they all the same length? Yep. That one's a bit... Oh, she's a bit damaged. Typical. That one doesn't want to come out. Typical. Oh, something fell out. This thing. Where did that come from? Came out of there. The last one of these little clutch heads is damaged, so I'm having trouble getting it out, so bear with me. Doesn't help that I don't have the right tools. To use this little homemade square head thing to get that out. Does that come apart? Feels like it should. Oh, yep. Fairly cleanish in there. Still got a bit of gasoline in there. I just took that out. Before I do all that, I really need to unclip that. Anything else connected? These all seem quite loose. Gaskets are a bit dry. What else comes off on this? What does that screw do? The screw down inside there, I don't know what it does, but I'll give it a try anyway. No, not with that. With that. Whatever it is, it doesn't want to come out. A little bit of old dried stuff in there, but it's not too bad. It's pretty dry on that side, whereas on the intake side it was a bit cleaner and whatnot. You know, whatnot. Bowls, a bit of rusty shit in there. O-ring on there. Put it back there for now. How does this work? Take the accelerator pump off. This was leaking like pretty bad out of the accelerator pump. It was pumping, but it just was leaking. Spring. That little doodad. Should do. Hopefully I can get all this back together again. I'm still perplexed as to why those are capped off, but why is the ultimate question. So I'm going to need about a 1/2 inch. No, there we go. Take that out. Okay, don't go any further. Don't know why. Strange as to why that's like that. Well, that's ready to give a good clean, I guess. Actually, nope. How do you get that one out? Oh, hang on. It might slide up. It might go like that. Maybe. Got it. Alright, we'll have a look in here and see what all comes in this kit. See if I recognise stuff. Okay, there's one needle and seat. There's another needle and seat. A whole bunch of those. Don't know what they're all for. Ball bearings. I didn't see any ball bearings. That thing, which is that thing, but it's different. Oh, hang on, that's the same as the one we've got in there. I don't know where that goes in, might be an extra bit. A couple of them, so 2 different ones, so obviously you're only going to use the one that we've got. Little doodad, that one. One of them, some of them, one of them, one of them, some of those. Oh, dropped something. Uh-oh. Drop that. Don't know where that goes. Big thick one of those mammoth jammers. That's that one there, that in-betweener. We've got another paper gasket, and we've got a bunch of little miscellaneous things and O-rings and washers and stuff that are scattered throughout here. One little clip, a couple of those. Again, don't really know what half of this stuff is, or whether I need all of it, but I don't know where those ball bearings came from, that's for sure. Okay. Any of these bags open? Okay, so just been down the road and got me some carburetor cleaner. Ooh. Smells like lacquer thinners in a can. And a couple of little scrubbers. Forgot to take the idle jets out. Should I do that over here in case something springs out or falls out? Okay, battery died. Inside here there's a little thing called I don't know, something or other, discharge, bloody hootlangy, whatever, but it has a couple of these little gaskets in here, so I had to actually replace them, as the one on the screw was pretty well toast. And this is requiring some fine surgery. I've just been up and downloaded a reassembly manual for this generation of carburetor. Even required forceps. Fortunately I had some, my needle nose pliers wouldn't get in there. So that's the first two little gaskets in there. Exciting stuff. I don't really know what, I can't remember what order I did things in. I should really have paid more attention. I just kind of got excited and ripped this thing apart. So for a start I will do my idle jets. Where's the other one? Here it is. And there's a couple of new gaskets that go with those. Without my glasses on, the jets look good. Down here I have two little gaskets. There I've got all my little gaskets and stuff laid out down here, just in case you're wondering on what I was doing. So move that out the way. We'll start with putting those on there. Doesn't look like there's too many ways they can go. Or should I poke it in the hole first? I might poke it in the hole first. Oh, there you go. There's, oh no, yes. Come on, there we go. And that screws in there, like so. Seat it, I'll go back one. Take it out one turn.
guess a good place as any to start, I think. Gentle. Righty. Okay, just quick disclaimer here, I'm not an expert on on rebuilding Holley carburetors. Well, I wouldn't say rebuilding, like rekitting Holley carburetors, or any carburetor for that matter. I'm just an idiot in my garage having a crack at it. So that's those two replaced. Put those over there with all the other used ones. Now what? Should I put the float bowls back together, or should I do the power valve-y thing? I don't even know where that goes now. Oh, it's on the bottom of the float bowl, yeah? Something like that. My thingy things. And also the power valve thing, this thing here. Apparently there's two types of gaskets, and by the looks of it, that one that was on here is the wrong one. According to this paperwork here, it should have just a round one like that when it's a 2-hole thing. Mind you, that's got 4 holes in it, and it might be the right gasket. I don't know. I'm no expert. As you probably figured out already. Here we go. What next? Oh, this has got little O-rings on there, and we had a bunch of little O-rings over there. Plus we've got our crossover tube, which I now can't find, which has O-rings. I'll swap those out. These look like the 2 bigger ones. I'll put those on now, so it eliminates them from the future equations. That's them sorted. This little doohicky's got 2 O-rings on it as well. And I'm picking it'll be these ones. What else has got O-rings on? Don't know how. Can't see any other O-rings on anything. So these are quite hard and dry. Good time to get something in your eye, because I just have. Oh yeah, they're brittle. Fallen to pieces. I've got 2 options, or 3 options. Oh shit, there's more O-rings down here. Oh, shit. So they might be too big, those ones. Correct. Yep, these are totally baked on, these little O-rings. More like plastic, they're so hard. Well, I'm starting to think it might have been the smaller of the 2 sizes. Maybe. I might try the bigger one on and see what it looks like. It went in there, I think. Maybe not the bigger one. I don't even know what this thing's called. Let's have a look at our picture. It is a can't find it. 49 tube O-ring assembly goes in there. Should I oil it? Some sort of like lubricating thing on there. Get that in. So where does that meet up with? Does that meet up with that? I think it does. Yep. Might need to get some lubrication in the situation. A little bit of oil in this, according to the paperwork. It goes in there, like so. Boing, so it sticks out there. What else have we got? Then we got the spring here, goes in next, goes in there. And then we have the accelerator pump doodad. I don't know which way up it went actually. I cannot remember. What do the instructions say? So that's that way. And it comes out the side like so, hopefully. think that's on there. Where's my Phillips screwdriver? Why is it not wanting to play? That all that goes in there, that the spring, and then that, and then the diaphragm goes on there like so. And this one. Yeah. Okay, so that's that bit done, hopefully. Bunch of stuff over here. That thing and then that thing, and then the gasket was sandwiched between them, so I need that gasket there. It's quite a bit thicker than the one that was in there, so it goes like that. Actually, I might give this a bit more of a clean actually. I'm cleaning up this little plate here that goes on the other side of this gasket on this other little plate. I've noticed this one's actually quite beat up, like it's been hammered on or something. Someone's done some beating on it, but as to why, I wouldn't have a clue. Is there a way that this goes? Are these symmetrical? I should have paid more attention. Yeah, this is the gasket that it was up against. So that would have gone that way. Yep. Doesn't appear to be anything special. So we need one of them, which will be that one. Doesn't appear to be a left or a right. Is that all it was? There anything in there? I can't remember. Oh dear. It didn't go that way. It must have gone on that one. Yeah. I think so. I think that goes on there like that. And then this doohickey goes on there like that. Some locating dowels on there, so get them in the right spot, like that, and like that. And then we need screws. Right, something's not right. We've got missing holes. Maybe I have got this around the wrong way. Maybe that goes around the other side, that side there. And then does that go on here? Alright. Old gasket, something like that. All those holes line up. So what did I do wrong? Oh, I had this upside down. What I need goes this way, that way. Whew, this is intense, man. Now I've got that one munted up screw to contend with. Start pinching these down. Now, as I said before, I'm not a carburetor man. I'm not a fuel injection man. I'm just an idiot in my garage having to go at putting new gaskets in the carburetor. So if there's something wrong with this unit and I've missed it, it's because I have no idea what I'm looking at, really. Died it. That's right, that's got the munted screw. Where's that big long jammer? Yeah. Okay, so that's that bit done. So we can put that gasket aside. Whew, it's intense. Put those second-hand pieces away. Now what? What do we do now? Because where does this go? Does it go on that side or on the other side? It must go on the other side, I reckon. So on this side here, what goes on there? I can't remember. Was it just the fuel bowl? Where did my jets go? I can't remember where I took them out of. I took them out of this.
Oh, they came out of one of the bowls, didn't they? No. Now this thing? Ah, they came out of there, that's right. I'm starting to sweat about that. Because we've got these two little jetty things here. Hang on, just make sure there's no special parts go in between there and there. Jets, they go in the... Nope, just screw the jets in. Screwdriver. Nope. Yes. It's too small. There's a bigger one. Can't find it. Okay, so float bowl, needle, seat, little springy clip time. Little gasket. That little gasket goes on there. That goes in the bin. So this goes up in here. Got the gasket on there. Yep, right. Get that going. Come on. Why doesn't it want to start? Just typical. Turn the camera on and all hell breaks loose. Now we're cooking with gas. Some tightening up of this little seat. Tight. Got the little needle, and this little clippy thing goes on here. I'll try not to catapult it across the room. Like that. It can go there. And this goes in. You get it past that little dingle dangle thingy. What's it? Did it go in there? No. Oh, now I missed the pole. It's got to go in there. Surely. Oh, now I missed the clip. Come on. I wonder if I can do that way and then push the clip. No, it's not going to let me do that. Come on, get in there. Yes. Yes, is that right? Is that all there was? And then the little wee tiny clip. This little mamma jamma here. So we're going to need surgical precision for this. Ding, just like that. Like that. Oh, that's why, coming out of there. Dipstick. Hang on, I'll just plug that up somehow. I think that's alright. Didn't get a new washer for there, so it's like a steel washer of some sort. No, that's not the same. No. So can't lose that one. Okay, we've got this little keeper that was on this side. Actually, before I do that, these float bowls are apparently the non-adjustable type. Now, I was worried about this, all this stuff in here, this glued in sort of thing in here. It would seem that there is a non-adjustable type of float bowl. So I have to now figure out the measurement and stuff. So according to the paperwork, the dry adjust should have the float parallel. So this is not quite parallel on the float there. So I've got to bend the tab in just a scotch, like so. Yeah. No, it's still not parallel. Oh, I need to bend it out of the scotch. Dipstick. No, too much. Okay, so like that. That looks about parallel, I think. Now this one, definitely not. So I need to squeeze that one in just a scotch. I should probably use these, could I? No. No, too much. That looks about parallel, I reckon. It's probably dipping down just a little bit. Could probably come up. Ah, too much again. I don't want to snap it off. Oh yeah, there we go. That'll do us, I reckon. So float bowl's done. This one here gets this little cover back on. It goes on there like so. I don't know whether there's supposed to be one on there, but it hasn't got one. There's no little thingy on there. Just noticed too, there's a accelerator pump kind of blind hole on that side as well. Sweet, hopefully that's alright. Now what? Okay, I guess we can put the bowls back on maybe. Got a lot of parts left over. Say these are my... Oh, no, still got to put that back together, don't I? So I need this gasket, which is that the same as that one? Okay, it goes that way. Yep. Right, looking at the witness marks there, it goes on like so. Just like that. What I probably should do though, let's do it this way. So that'll go that way. Like so, yes. Why is that just spinning endlessly? That's not good. Try a different one in there. That one's a little stripped, unfortunately. Made a little... that's not good. Might be alright. There is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 others holding it down. It's just in that corner. We will see though, I guess. It doesn't want to hold. It doesn't want to hold. Right. That's right. Got to hook up that vacuum there. Need that little clip. Goes on there like so. Ding. Beauty. So that's me. Everything's spinning freely. Yep. Alrighty. Next. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, should do.
think. Check if that's going to fit in there. They might need a little bit of oil. But just a tiny little smidge of oil on those just to get them to seat. That's what I reckon. Oh, there we go. Look, now we're talking. Alright. Nuts and bolts. Which one had the long ones? These must be the long ones, which would be the accelerator pump side. I've got new washers for there. So get rid of the old ones. New washers on. Accelerator pump side, this one. So the long bolts go to the bottom. I need a gasket. That's right. So that'll be that gasket. Oh yeah, it's got locator dowels on there. Oh, what a dork. Like so. This has got like these little locator dowels on here. There's only one way it can go, is there? Or no, two. There's that hole there. So, got a bit ahead of myself. I had to take this back off and pick out the old gaskets that were kind of embedded into the bowl. So, yeah. How much crank do you put into these things? I don't know. Don't want to strip things out. Okay, so this side, oh, that's acting as the gasket for that side, isn't it? So I just gotta, that's why there was only one of these. So why do I have two of these? Just in case, I guess. Right, just gotta, yeah, see in here, the old gaskets are kind of embedded in there, so just gotta pick them out. And of course it wants to break up, fall to bits. One down almost. Come on, oh, there's a bit of Scotch right here. Yeah, yeah, That'll do. This one, that one came out a bit more complete. Go on, get out of there. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Right. That way. Right, here's my washers. 4. Alright, short ones to the top again. Ah, oh, forgot. Yeah, hang on. Dork. Gotta slide this back on the bolts. Enough to get that in. Might get a little bit of oil on those. I took a little bit of oil in this cap earlier just for a bit of lubricating in the situation. There, no, I'm gonna have to take it off. Yeah, a little, yeah, tweak, 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 tweak. Okay, so I think, well, other than the intake, this thing here, that's essentially it. According to this paperwork, there should be a seal in there as well, which I didn't have in there. Where is it? I can't even find the picture now. Where is it gone in there? Can't see. Ah, there it is. Spring 29, which is not on that page. It's an inlet filter gasket, which Might be about that size. Yeah, about there. And then is there a way that this goes? I would say that way. Fuel's coming in, gets into that little thing there, goes like that. Yeah? Give it a try. And it goes. Should be able to tighten that with the old 5/8, like so. Just tightening the whole thing. Everything seems to be moving as it should, I think. I didn't take that off because I think that's alright. The vacuum secondary thing, and this kit didn't come with a new diaphragm for it, so that's why I didn't touch it. And there's probably a few O-rings and seals and that from that. I'd really need. I'll put that back on there. Okay, so lots of stuff left over. So this is all the old shit, so that can go in the bin now. But yeah, all these other O-rings and gaskets and stuff were left over. And this is for a different model, a spare one of those, which is probably quite good. These two paper gaskets, they're pretty thin. They look more like base gaskets, but there's all these clips and stuff. An extra couple of these. This is different style, same with that, but I keep them anyway. And those left over from that, old needle and seats and stuff. I couldn't see anything sticking, which, you know, there was a lot of fuel dumping going on when I put this on the truck, but she seems to be, you know, it was fairly clean inside. As for why it was doing that, it could have still just been sticking or whatever. I don't know, maybe the fuel pump's got a bit too much. I should be right, it's working alright with that. I don't know, I'm speculating, I don't really know, because I'm not really that up with the play on this. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it today anyway. It's it back together. I'm going to put all this away somewhere safe, because I might need some of it if I've forgotten something. I don't know what the deal is with that, whether to use that or not. I mean, that's like a 1/4 of an inch, like base gasket. Is that some sort of like kind of heat protection, one of those doodads to stop it boiling the fuel, you know, that kind of thing? I don't know, but I'll do some research and find out whether I should put that on anyway. Hey guys, so it's a new day, new dawn, and I'm feeling good. The 650 is all re-gasketed. I wouldn't say rebuilt, but it's re-gasketed. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck that on in place of the Edelbrock, and we'll see how it goes. So I won't bother filming that because we did all that last week, and it should be a fairly, oh god, I'm going to jinx myself now, but it should be a fairly straight, just bolt on type stuff, you know. So I'll do that. Okay, so 650 back on the truck. Time to kick it in the guts. I haven't tried it yet, so and I also put an extra 1/2 turn into the mixture screws. I was reading last night that 1.5 turns out is a good starting point. We should be good to go. Still need to have a look at the TV cable again. I think it might be a little bit on the tight side now, but let's have a go. You watch. Just lift yourself a bit to human height. well guys, got the re-gasketed, won't say rebuilt, but re-gasketed 650 spread bore basic old Holley on the old basic old small block Chev. It runs, it drives. I just took it for a quick drive up the street, but it's just about out of gas because all this farting around. I've been chewing through the gas, idling in the garage and stuff, you know. But I didn't bother filming any of that because it's just me going. And this pretty much sums it up. But yeah, so hopefully when I get a bit more time, I'll spend a bit more time trying to dial this in a bit more. Still got to do the valve seals and whatnot. Hopefully it won't run as rich. But I didn't check out the jet numbers on the main jets, and I can't get it to really react at all when I mess with the mixture screws. So I don't know. Maybe I did something wrong or whatever. But we'll run it for now, see how it goes. Still got the Edelbrock there. I know it goes with that. I just feel it's a bit heavy on it for, you know, a bit over fueled for this motor. But yeah, so that's where we're going to leave this one. If you haven't subscribed already and this video hasn't turned you off, because let's be honest, it's not really riveting stuff, but you know, you might pick up something, or you might have a laugh, or kind of look at this clown in New Zealand trying to do shit that's above his pay grade. Honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing most of the time. I'm just having a crack at it, you know, trying to keep my shit going and, you know, doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, so like, share, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And as always, thanks heaps for watching, and till next time, take it easy and peace.